And welcome to the 12th Horseshoe Podcast, live on Surge Sports and on our YouTube channel, presented by Prova, an Italian eatery in Moonachie, New Jersey. This is the Week 8 recap, Halloween edition special. Jack Rizzo, Elijah Weintraub, happy Tuesday, happy 2 days to Halloween Eve. And are we ready to talk about football, Jack?
Yes, we are, Eli. Let's get right into it. Let's go. Week 8 in the Bucks. All 16 or all 32 teams play this weekend. Let's get right into it.
You don't have to scream. It's okay.
You just
All right.
screamed. You just screamed. You
Energetic.
just screamed.
Energetic, not screaming. Either way,
I did not
welcome to the
scream.
program. Jack Rizzo, Elijah Weintraub. Here we go. Let's start this off. The Vikings, the Rams. We talked about this already. Vikings lost to the Rams 30-20. First game we're going to talk about, Colts, Texans. Colts lose to Texans 23-20. And we have a rant incoming. So without further ado, I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to say anything. Let's hear this 5-minute rant about the Indianapolis Colts. And let's also hear about this game about the Texans. And for more of that, I'm going to stay quiet and stay muted while my partner rants away.
You guys see this hoodie? I am a true fan for wearing this this Colts hoodie during these difficult times. Listen, I've been through a lot as a Colts fan. I've been watching the Colts for 10 years. We've been through a lot as a team. Quarterback changes, head coaches, disappointing seasons, great seasons. We've been through a lot. I have never seen anything like what we saw this past Sunday. Not with the Colts, not with the NFL, and not with any sport I've ever watched in my life, high school, collegiate, or professional. What we saw on Sunday against the Houston Texans, first of all, congrats to the Texans on winning. I'll just say that. We both got the pick, or I picked the Colts, you picked the Texans. We'll just get that out of the way. But I have never seen what happened on Sunday. I have never seen somebody do something like that in the middle of a game that decided first place in the division. It's just a quitter personality, and it really speaks volumes of what kind of player and person that this person is. Anthony Richardson is a quitter. You take yourself out of the game after you run for not very many yards. You take yourself out because you're tired. Oh, you're tired, or you're just, you're sick of not playing well. So you take yourself out because you can't deal with it anymore. What kind of message does that send to the rest of the Colts locker room when your star quarterback, your 4th overall quarterback from the 2023 draft, takes himself out of a play after, apparently running for, few yards? He didn't really even run that much. He was just, it's clear either he was out of shape or something else, but it's bad. Literally, you watch any show this week, any sports show, you watch the Pat McAfee show, you watch Get Up on ESPN, you watch any show, that is all they're talking about right now. We have never seen anything like this in the NFL. A quarterback literally quitting on his team in the middle of a football game, in a game that the Colts were still within. I mean, they still had a chance to win the game, and he took himself out of a play. It is unbelievably, it is a disgrace. And the Colts fittingly today decide to bench Anthony Richardson after this failure that happened on Sunday. But this is really an organizational issue, Eli. One message does that send to the rest of the players when the coach literally allows for a player to come out of a game? What message does that send to the rest of the team when your quarterback, again, who you drafted 4th overall, he's supposed to be the leader of this team, the captain of this team, and he literally just quits on you in the middle of the 3rd quarter in a big game? And of course, the Colts decided to bench him. Literally, Eli, he could have said anything after the game. He could have said he was injured. He got the wind knocked out of him. He said the dumbest possible thing that he could have said to the media, that he was tired. And what do you know? The Colts have benched him. And honestly, Eli, I don't know if we're ever going to see Anthony Richardson play for the Colts again. And what makes this even worse, Eli, is the fact that he went out there on Sunday and he had a 31% completion percentage and took himself out of the game. You're playing that bad, and you still think you're, this incredible player. He still says after the game, oh, I think I'm a great passer, all these beautiful things. You complete 31% of your passes, and you can't even stay in the game. Did we see what Jaden Daniels did on Sunday at the end of the game? He ran around for about 20 seconds before launching a football 60 yards to win the game. It is clear that he has no leadership. He has no character. And I think all 52 of the Colts players on that roster are backing Joe Flacco right now. And it is a disgrace, Eli. The Colts, Anthony Richardson should be ashamed of himself. The Colts organization should be ashamed of themselves. And Jim Irsay should be ashamed of himself for what happened on Sunday. That's all I've got, Eli. It was a disgrace. I don't think we're ever going to see anything like it again, but congratulations to the Texans. They're probably going to end up winning the division this year. They've got a great team. No Stephon Diggs really hurts, but this is just an unacceptable thing, and it's pretty fitting that this happens to the Colts, who have been possibly the worst run organization in the NFL over these last 8 years. I yield back to you, Eli.
Bravo. That's all I got to say.
Do you agree with me, though?
Jason's was better, by the way, the rant-wise. Other than that, I'm joking.
No, it's all right. You can say that. I didn't really like rant. I didn't really rant.
I thought that was a phenomenal rant, number one. I thought you clarified every bullet point there. I cannot agree more. Joe Flacco needed to start. And there was one point I mentioned to you and to other people. I said, at this point, you got to look at Carolina. Carolina right now, Bryce Young, what has he done? Not much. Could it be a leadership thing? Absolutely. What did I say? What if they did a swap? What if Bryce Young went to Indianapolis and AR went to Carolina? Could we
I honestly
see
would
a
not hate
change
that.
in both sides? Will Bryce Young prove himself that he is worthy of a quarterback in Indianapolis? Or will we see a Bryce Young prove himself a point in Indianapolis? Or will we see will we see AR do the same in Carolina? Or are we seeing that these two are not NFL worthy? I would love to see it happen.
Eli, what team is going to want to trade for a quarterback that just quit on his team in the middle of the game? No team's going to
Carolina
try to play.
Carolina would.
Bryce Young's been playing better though than Anthony Richardson has, so I think they're going
to. But
again, keep him.
What has Carolina done so far? One win in 8 games are not going to help this team out. Maybe it's time. Time.
Well, they'll trade for somebody else. You can't trade for a guy who quit on his team. The players are going to hate him. Anthony Richardson has no respect in the Colts locker room anymore. And it's clear. I mean, he deserves it, though. Like, what he did quitting on his team, that just can't happen, Eli. And the way he addressed it after the game was even more of a blunder. But he has no maturity, and he's going out there completing 30% of his passes. That's really all I've got, Eli.
Daniel Jones is going to be available soon, and so is the other AR. He'll be available soon.
Daniel Jones is like 10 times better than AR is, and Daniel Jones is
horrible. What up, AR? The other AR.
No, he could retire, disappear into his darkness retreat forever for all I care.
Well, we're going to speed things up now. We're going to move along to the next team. I think we talked about 10 minutes worth of this. We're going to move right along. Not much to say here. Lions destroy Titans 52-14. Not much I'm going to say.
This is sad, Eli, at this point for Tennessee. 52-14 is crazy. But hey, the Lions are rolling right now, and they're the best team in the NFL right now. That's really all I've got to say. Let's move on.
Browns defeat the Ravens 29-24. And have the Ravens really been struggling that bad? It's really sad and pathetic to see. It truly is. This is I'm disappointed in this Ravens team. The Ravens will now take on next week. I'm going to get the team. They were taking on the Broncos. If they don't win next week, they're in trouble. And I know they had a pickup today, but I don't know if that's going to do much. I mean, Jack, what do you got for us?
I'm not really worried.
Comment real quick.
Oh, yeah, Curb.
Boy, Knicks looked great. Next 2 weeks at Baltimore, at KC, back-to-back, huge games. Let's go.
Oh, wait, Eli.
Kurt, let me just say this. They played Carolina. Let's clarify that.
Wait,
he'll prove himself well if he can be both Baltimore and maybe Kansas City. I don't think Kansas City, but most importantly, Baltimore.
As Kurt would say, Eli, it's back-to-back huge games. Love you, Kurt. I hope you appreciated that.
All right.
Yeah, Eli, I'm not really worried about the Ravens. I think they'll be okay. I just thought Jameis Winston had a really awesome performance. It was really cool to see. But I do think Deontay Johnson will be a solid pickup for them. It's a divisional game, Eli. AFC North games, anything can happen. So we'll see what happens next week. But the Ravens will be fine. I'm not really worried about that.
Another surprise here. Dolphins lose to the Cardinals 28-27. What a game that was. Came down to the end. And the Cardinals are victorious. Of course, I appreciate it. I love the comment. All right. Well, not much more I could say there. And what a game. Jack, tell us all about it.
This was a sneaky good game. It was a very sneaky good game this week. And credit to the Cardinals. This is the second time they've done this year on the road. They did it against San Francisco, winning at the end. But quietly, Eli, Arizona's at 4-4, and they're in first place in the NFC West. I don't know if anybody realizes that, but the Arizona Cardinals are playing really well right now. As for the Dolphins, Eli, I don't even know what to say. It's just sad at this point. Doesn't matter Tua, no Tua. They just look like a completely different football team. And we have a comment here from John Randall. What's up, John? I appreciate you tuning in. Hi, everyone. I was very impressed with Detroit win on Sunday. I think they will make it to the Super Bowl. They're my dark horse Super Bowl picks to win it all. I agree with everything you say, but I don't know necessarily if the Lions are a dark horse team. I think everyone is thinking they're going to win the Super Bowl right now. Dark horse is more of like a team that nobody expects to win. And then
Commanders.
That's a good dark horse pick. Kurt asked, is the AR experiment over? Well, I think I kind of answered it with my rant before.
I would scroll back to the beginning of the show. You'll see the 5-minute rant.
In case you just tune in, Kurt, scroll back to the beginning of the show and listen to my rant, and then you'll get your answer.
Okay, move along. Falcons destroy the Buccaneers 31-26. A big game for the Falcons. Again, Buccaneers with some injuries couldn't pull through. Would have been a great game if everybody was healthy on the Buccaneers side, but it's a Falcons victory in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Eli, I said it last week. The Bucs can't win without their top two receivers with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Those are their two top receivers. You cannot win without them. The Falcons' defense, Eli, has been very disappointing, but there's still time to figure it out. And I've been really impressed with Kirk Cousins, and I think the Falcons took a really big step on Sunday in their hopes of winning the NFC South. And we have a comment from Kenny Kirkpatrick. Appreciate you tuning in, Kenny. Good evening to two future legends of broadcasting. My dark horse Steelers fell. Yeah, Steelers are a good pick. They're 6-2.
Well, let's see about that. They just played the Giants and the Jets in the past 2 weeks.
We'll get to that later. But we'll
get that later. Yeah, of course. We're going to go to the Eagles and the Bengals. The Eagles destroyed the Bengals 37-17. I mean, really, the Bengals have been this team where they've been not the team we expect them to be. Philadelphia got a huge win, and that's what's most important. But for Cincinnati, another disappointing day in the office.
That was probably my worst prediction of the season. I was picking the Bengals to win this division. Yikes, what a bad pick that was. But the Eagles have looked much better, Eli, since coming out of the bye week. So give credit to them. Jalen Hurts looks like the old Jalen Hurts that we saw. And the Bengals probably have the worst defense in the NFL right now. You can't win if you can't stop the offense. So that's all I've got. Eagles won. Let's move on to the next one.
By the way, I just want to point out that the money trap really comes in handy. And I say that again constantly. Whenever you become the highest paid, a curse happens. And look at this curse.
The only positive thing about the Bengals this year are their uniforms. That's like the only positive thing.
Bottom line. By the way, we both went 9-7 on picks and 2-1 on LSU. We both tied.
Nice. Look at our twinsies.
Next game. Packers over the Jaguars. Why is this game close? 30-27. Really? I mean, we do have a comment. Bigger disappointment, Burrow or Rodgers? Rodgers and heartbeat.
Burrow's been fine, honestly. The Bengals defense is just that bad. Rodgers has not been good at all. So
he's been horrible. We'll get to that game later, of course.
Yeah. Yep, of course. Yep, absolutely. Are you finished with your Jaguars?
Yes,
you want me to go ahead, Eli? Okay, well, John, if you're still in here, you're the Jaguars fan. So if you want to comment and explain why this game was close, feel free to. But from what I saw, not having Jordan Love definitely was a reason why. But Malik Willis did play well again. I mean, Malik Willis has done a great job in his replacement, and the Packers ended up winning the game. How about Jaden Reed at the end of the game? I love this Packers team. They have a great defense. They have a great set of receivers. Jordan Love has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year. I'm just a big fan of, oh my goodness, Packers Lions next week is going to be awesome up at Lambeau.
What a great game.
But hey, give credit to the Jaguars. They played well, Eli, especially considering that they're coming off 2 London games in a row and had no bye week to show for that. So, but good win for the Packers. And let's move on to the next one.
Jets lose to the Patriots 25-22. Aaron Rodgers becomes the biggest disappointment. They proved this weekend that Robert Saleh is not the issue to the Jets' failure. It seems to be quarterback decision issues. Does that explain all of last year's problems? No. But it seems like there are a lot of problems on both sides, offense, defense. But Aaron Rodgers seems to be the biggest circle to the Jets' problems. When will he get benched is the question. I say give it 2 weeks, especially with the tough Texans matchup on Halloween is going to be difficult. Jack?
Was Tom Brady in the house for this one, Eli? Because it looked like this was the Tom Brady-led Patriots once again taking down Aaron Rodgers. But, what a disaster. How do you lose to the Patriots? The Patriots, you lost to Jacoby Brissett. You lost to the tank commander himself. but he is actually better than Aaron Rodgers. So I will say that.
100%.
This is just depressing, Eli. That's the word I have to use to describe the Jets is depressing. All this talent, it's completely going to waste. Moving on. I don't even want to talk about the Jets anymore.
Well,
I'm
that's
fed up
fair
with
enough.
them.
Let's go to the Chargers, who defeated the Saints 26-8. That's another team we could really just move along
Weird
quickly
score.
because it was what?
I said weird score,
I
26
know.
to 8.
Yeah, because at one point it was 3-2. That was worse than 5-2 Giants Seahawks a few years ago. At halftime. 3-2. Ridiculous. Well,
Yeah, I agree. I really didn't even watch this game. The only thing I know from this game is that Lad McConkey had 2 touchdowns. So
and there was
he's
a
definitely
safety.
the Chargers'
Oh, I
top
know.
receiver. Yes, and of course there was a safety. And the Saints stink. That's really all I've got. Chargers win. Saints with 6 losses in a row. I can't believe Dennis Allen is still the coach. He can't be for much longer.
I don't even know what to say anymore. Seahawks lose to the Bills 31-10. Wishy-washy team. One day they win, one day they lose. One day the offense works great, the other day the defense is bad. One day it's good, one day it's bad. One day everybody's bad. This is a definition of a wishy-washy team. This is an absolute joke what this team has been doing. 31-10 the final. This was supposed to be a win for Seattle. Instead, turned into a devastating loss, and the Challenger road gets thicker and rough as they take on the Rams next week at home, which ain't going to be as easy because the Rams are known for beating Seattle, even on the road in Seattle. I'm finished.
All I've got to say, well, first of all, great job.
It's not as good as yours for today, but
I've got nothing really. All I got to say is that I picked the Bills and you picked the Seahawks. I think we can move on now.
Okay, thank you for keeping it short and sweet. Okay, game of the year, plain and simple. Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders come back from a Bears touchdown and win the game. How did it happen? 20 seconds pass by before Jaden Daniels throws the ball with 2 seconds left on the clock. And what happens? A miracle in the DC area, as none other than Jaden Daniels throws it deep from the 30-yard line into the end zone, and a touchdown deflected off a Bears player who was taunting the Commanders fans. What a game. What an ending. By far, one of the best miracles we have seen since 2020. Bottom line.
Yeah, Eli.
And for a while,
wow, I was speechless when I saw this. Now, game of the year, I don't know about game of the year. That's tough. Play of the year, yes, absolutely. 100%.
When was game? What would you say game of the year? I mean, yeah, I would say game of the year. You're right, 100%. But
my game of the year,
100%.
My game of the year would be either Lions Vikings last week or Ravens Bengals, the 41-38 game in Week 5. But either way, play of the year. That's really what's more important right now is play of the year. Unbelievably, this just a miracle. It's the best play, I think, Eli, in the NFL since the Minneapolis Miracle. I think that's the best play in NFL since the Minneapolis
way
Miracle.
To say it.
It kind of reminded me of the Auburn Hail Mary against Georgia, which happened like 10 years ago, where the defender tipped it right into the arms of a surprise wide receiver who had no idea that he was going to catch the football. Yeah. What a disappointment for the Bears. You come back down 12-0. You do all that work to come back just to give that up. And the player taunting the fans right before hurts it even more. Just a disaster, Eli. But hey, the Commanders are for real. This is an awesome team to watch, Eli. Feel good story. And Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels have really turned around that team. And the future is bright in DC. And Eli, let me say, you said miracle in Washington, D.C. They play in Maryland, Eli. I think this
whatever, Jack. It's in the name. It's the DC area too.
Because you said like the DC. What about the Maryland Miracle? I think that sounds better. The Maryland Miracle.
That tri-state area.
That's not This is the tri-state area, Eli. That's not
the other tri-state area. Whatever. Move along.
Washington D.C. is not a state, Eli.
Whatever, Jack. Move along. Would you?
Oh my goodness.
Would you move along already?
Well, it's not a state. You said it was a state.
Okay,
so now
my bad. It's not a state. Area. Bottom line. A comment from Josh. He texted us. He said, "Prevent defense and rush 3 and give him all day to throw it. Coach is on the way out. Bring in Belichick."
No, Jason. We are not going to be referring to this. I'm sorry. Thank you for commenting, but this is an abomination.
Well, Jason, go ahead. Say what you want. If you
that's not.
Make another comment. Come on. Chiefs over the Raiders, 27-20. Even with injuries, the Chiefs still win. I'm speechless and I have no words. This is the Kansas City Chiefs, everyone.
I got my Survivor pick right. Moving on.
Okay. Cowboys lose to the 49ers in a very good game, 30-24.
Wait, you forgot a game, Eli.
Sorry, Panthers.
You have Cart
lose-
Valenti watching this, and you forgot the Broncos game.
I'm sorry, Jack. My bad. I read the thing wrong. Calm down. Although we don't want to get to the Cowboys thing, because I mean we're gonna keep the short and sweet anyways. Broncos defeat the Panthers 20-14. Remember, they only played the Panthers. Not much more I can say, Jack. Go ahead. Say your 2 words so we can move along.
Shameful. Broncos won.
Sorry, Kurt. No disrespect to you. I forgot.
Broncos won. Panthers lost. Moving on. 4 words, but whatever. Moving on.
Could have skipped it.
No, we could not have. That's our job.
We could have gone back to it. Bottom line.
Let's go to Sunday night.
Cowboys 49ers 30-24. 49ers with the victory. Go ahead.
I got the pick right. You got it wrong. Great win for the 49ers. And
Yeah,
now
so
we
much
can
joy
move on to
saying
Monday
that.
night. What?
You have no comments?
Yeah. Well, the Cowboys do this a couple times a year. Like they're down by a bunch of points. They pretend like they're going to come back in the fourth quarter, and then they just lose the game anyways. They did it against the Ravens a couple weeks ago. Yeah, what a joke. And once the 49ers get Christian McCaffrey back, Eli, they'll be dangerous. They're going to get him back out of the bye week as Finley makes an appearance.
Yes,
As you can see, the
Finley's
curtain move.
Yes, absolutely. Finley's the star of the 12th Horseshoe, not us, by the way. Is she there?
Yeah, she's here. I
Show
don't know
it
if I
on
can
the
show her
camera.
on the camera. Oh, yeah, let's see.
Go ahead. There you
There you are.
go.
Oh, there she goes.
Oh, okay. She's shy of the camera. No
Bye,
media
Fin
attention.
Fin.
Okay, well. Steelers beat the Giants 26-18. Not much more I'm going to say there. Russell Wilson, he's good right now, and that's because they play 2 New York teams. Wait till the pressure begins. In week 10, they have a bye next week. That's all I can say.
Steelers country, let's weld. On to next week.
All right, Halloween, Thursday Night Football, 8:15 Prime Video. You got the Texans, and you've got the Jets in New Jersey. Who do we pick? What do we do? What do we think about this game? I'm taking the Texans 28-18 Texans. The Jets have no shot against Houston. I think they've been really struggling. I don't think they stand a chance.
Yeah, I agree with you, Eli. This Texans defense playing too good right now. I don't really care if they don't have their receivers healthy. I'm taking the Houston Texans 21-19 on Halloween.
All right. Well, that will do it for us here on the 12th Horseshoe podcast. Join us on Friday. Time to be announced. We'll announce a time later on. We don't know the exact time. It'll be an early show, not 7 o'clock. So stay tuned to our channel and also to the information on our Instagram, Twitter, X, all that fun stuff. We will keep you posted on the time for Friday's show. It will not be 7 o'clock, so stay tuned for that. We'll have our predictions for this week coming up. And from Jack Rizzo, I'm Elijah.